Greetings to all and namaskaram. I have just recently shifted to Lautoka, but most of my thing will be based on my life in Motoba, where I was born, and then in Rakiraki. I got married and shifted to that place. The talks I've already had were very inspirational, very good, kept me awake all along. And I hope I'll do the same with you people. When I was first asked to speak on this subject, I had to put myself under microscope, screening myself. At the age of 73, the events, the experiences I've heard has become very difficult. Which one to select and which one to leave out? If you are young, very easy. Other places where I had to speak, a subject was given, a topic was given. You stand up, you speak. It was very easy. But this is quite different. Nevertheless, I look back at my experiences, achievements, and all that, and some of them I would like to present today. As an individual, I have my characteristics and beliefs. In the earlier days, I think I could have been very stubborn or what. There were many things, like I'd like to be frank, open about my views, which were sometimes appreciated. Other times, people didn't like it. And my very good friends also left me and moved away. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Still, my son says, if the visitors are coming, we started tidying up the place, getting things ready. He would say, Mom, they're not coming to inspect your house. They're coming to visit you. Feel comfortable, be relaxed. And save all the energy when the visitors are there, enjoy it. And I feel he was quite right then. As I grew older, I offloaded these baggages. I had started having empathy for people. I understood the elders, the people I live with it, the children I taught, the places I worked, especially I think I spent a lot of time, did a lot of work in Fiji Red Cross Society Ra branch, and also later on I'm going to speak to you about the organization we formed, Ra Naari Parishad. Excuse me. When I was in school, the area we lived was not so easy. We had to cross a river, especially when it got flooded. So a lot of things depended the place we lived. My father had a sugarcane farm. We grew up there. Today, I feel very happy when I heard Saroj speaking about her son and the experiences and the emotions she had. I'd just like to share here, straight away. We were very young. I hardly know about my father. My mother never spoke or discussed things about him. The day my elder brother passed away, she made a statement to us that she had never forgotten my father. How was she going to forget my brother? So I have a very little memory of my father. Nevertheless, on this farm, we have been working very hard and all those things. You all know what happens in a farming community. And suddenly, at the age of 45, my father passed away. She left a young widow, 7 of us there, and one yet to be born after 2 months. You just imagine, a simple housewife, no education. She did not know what was the income and expenditure in the house. How was she going to manage the sugarcane farm and bring us up? All these tons of questions. Today, I want to leave a message with you with these questions. Are you prepared? And I also ask this question to myself. Am I prepared if one of the partners suddenly go? What about your properties? Have you got a will? Or are they going to fight over that once you are not there? What is your income like? Have you got a bank balance or bank account? How are you going to educate your children? What are the things involved to manage a farm, like a sugarcane farm? You have to deal with the farming authorities, FSC and all these people. How are you going to survive? These days are different. My days were different. We had food in abundance. All of us worked on the farm. You name it, all the legumes, rice, maize, all these spices we use, dhania and all these things. Life, we used to hate it. You finish working in the sugarcane farm, the rice is ready. When you finish that, moong is ready. When you finish that, peanuts are ready. You know, plant, harvest, dry, preserve, all this sort of thing. Then, so that was the life. Do you have a second plan and a third plan? Are you discussing the family issues with the whole family? The mother is involved, the father is involved, and the children. We don't know who is going to go first. So, the life is carried on from where it's left. I know the cases where at the head of the family, especially men, when they die, they have savings, they have FNPF and all this sort of thing. Then they make the will and have some children. They say, this will be only divided or given to them when they are at the age of 21. What is going to happen until 21? The mother is there. Where is she going to get money to feed them, clothe them, house them, and also educate them? How is she going to do this? But if the wife dies, the man is ready, gets married quickly, enjoys the life. This is the truth. So, moving on, I was very fortunate. That at some point I put my foot down when I was in class 7. I refused to get married, and I said I wanted to continue with my education. And I thank today my brother and my mother that they made the decision and said, the rest of the siblings will all go into school as far as they could go. I completed my secondary school up to Form 4 level and got Fiji Junior certificate, entered Nasinu teachers training, became a teacher, and later on, I carried on. I was unsatisfied, and I did my BA from majoring in geography and education from USP. So, first, I could not continue secondary education, so I had a job as licensed teacher, earning $5 a month, £5, a month, £5. But I was very happy because I earned that money and helped my people. When I came out from training college, I was paid 25 pounds a month because I was only Fiji Junior Pass. So they rated like that. The other thing I experienced when I went to the training college, life was very hard. I had to compete against all those people who came with university entrance, New Zealand certificate and all. I had to really work very hard. But I was happy that I passed and became a teacher. Let's move on and we look at Ra Naari Parishad. My own friend, Pramila Devi, who is at USP, the director, and my own student, Kushma, they had this inspiration after the coup. When the coup happened, my husband, Samrasan Pillay, was a victim. And we know what sufferings we had. And these people also knew the trauma, the other things which were caused by this coup, and they came out with the idea, let's form a women's group to help them. And we did. Said, preserve our culture and tradition, work in the areas of social, educational, environment, all these sort of things. At the same time, teach them, empower them, make them strong, get them out of all this, so they lead a happy life, successful life. And we did. In 1989, we formed that organization, and today is a very well-established one with 3 paid staff. They are doing a lot of projects, they are doing a lot of work for the members and all the women of Ra, plus the other people. I must commend my office, the members and everybody, especially after the victim. I had to fight, I had to argue with Red Cross people. They do not think out of the box. They put the book, go by the book. They had huge amounts of supplies. People were there crying out, no shelter, no shelter. But these people are not giving them. Assess. But you know about the humanitarian grounds. You take that stuff with you, assess, give it to them right now. No discrimination, nothing whatsoever. And then I look at the women. We organize a lot of workshops, seminars and all. I sometimes feel whether we really strengthen them. Because when they come down, you see a number of women and others didn't come. Like a workshop on cervical cancer testing and breast cancer, how you can test yourself and all these things. Later on you say, hey Kamla, why didn't you come? What's wrong? No, my husband didn't allow me. Or head of the family, my brother didn't allow me. Do these males, those who are very near to you, realize how important these health programs are? Where is the fear? Why not allow them? We talk so much about women's rights, equal rights, this right, that right. But are we really following it? Do you have a right in your house, in your family? I'm especially saying this to the women who are present here. Do we have? Can we make the decisions? Tomorrow, a woman, she develops this cervical cancer. You have no money, you have to go and beg and borrow. By the time you collect enough money, that lady is dead. What is the story? These, we say, think out of the box. I had the Ministry of Health making these statements because, everybody complains we don't have enough drugs, which is the truth. You all know about it. Then the minister says, have patience. I repeat, Have patience. You can delay all things. Work on the farm, building bridges, this. Can you hold a person's life till the drug comes in? Can you? And then look at another example, diabetic cases. You know, Fiji is on a very high agenda. I think it's second or something. I can't clearly remember, in the world. But licenses are given, McDonald's, Burger King, this, that. What are we doing? What are we doing? The ministers are going overseas, attending this meeting, that conference. I'd like to mention one thing here. My home, when I got married and went there, it was like a railway station, right? Because my father-in-law was a community worker. All these things went on there as a center: police, education, health, farming, this. And those days, ministers came to visit the district. They came to see. They used to sit under the tree and hold meetings. In the schools, they didn't look at Marriott and Continental and all this. But today we have ministers visiting. Some say, we didn't have time, so we'll miss Rakiraki. We don't have time, you got only half an hour. And I'll give you only half a minute to express your views or ask questions. Why are you there? Why I am saying, the people in my district, we are not strong. We haven't been empowered. We can't stand up. And I like to see the day when we stand up, voice it out, and see that we become real good citizens of this country. In the schools, you have a subject as agriculture. I have seen one school is just next to my home. They are teaching agriculture in the classroom. So, all these students taking agricultural studies in the universities never come back. And very soon, this is what Sharon and myself were talking, that probably Rakiraki will be a district for the oldies. All will move out. The other thing which is high on agenda, international, this is one thing which I think I always say that we should have the education in depth, not just passing the exams and having the tails at the back of your name, but in depth. Do you really understand? I have developed myself. I do a lot of pleasure reading, but I still do a lot of research on different topics, different things. I don't miss the dailies. I listen to the radio. I do all these things. And I hope, and I want to leave this message. Are you doing it? Are your children doing it? Or your siblings are doing it? I don't know. But from today, if you can start, and then you will know what's happening. Going to Bonn with youth group, with ministers, even taking that young boy Timothy. They must have praised him. Beautiful speech, good content. But did anybody plan here in Fiji, in his own area, in Levu, Did they allow that boy to go and speak to the villagers there in his own language, to his friends, in the school? Did they allow? Sending him right out there. This youth, sending him right out there. I believe this way. All these people who took part in the competition, did the research and all. I, being a teacher, I know how much time the teachers must have spent. We should have collected all these kids, spread them out, send them to the settlements and villages. Not in Lautoka town, Nani town, Suva city, Lautoka city, Lamasa. There are thousands of people living in the remote areas. Do the messages reach them? If you come to villages and settlements, they tune the radio and sit down there. They want to listen to the news. They want to listen to the weather forecast. You see first, blah, 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 the rape charges, the murder, this, nothing else. What about the positive things happening in our country? Then the weather forecast. It doesn't even take 1 minute. They rattle off and then say, if you want to know any further, go to www. Give you an example. Like, our friend Miriama is living in Soa. Soa is a village next to Talibu, that's a borderline. Or Kamla, another area in Rakiraki on the hills. No computer, not literate, computer literate, nothing, no electricity. What does it www.internet mean to them? This is why we want to say, empower the women. Shall I finish it off with a few things which I wanted to mention? Sorry, I had a lot more to talk about. That is one, self-respect. I have a lot of self-respect for me, for myself, and I also respect others because I know if I don't respect you, you will never respect me. And this is a writer who is American author, Melody Beattie, who said, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. And then it can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Very well said, you think about that. And the past president, Abdul Kalam, said, dream is not what when you sleep and see the dream. Dream is when you are fully awake, you have a vision, you have a mission, work towards it. And make sure you are successful because you should be determined and have your commitment, keep your promises. And in the end, I'd like to say, there has been a great satisfaction where I have been in a small way contributed to the development of women in Ra, which took time and effort. This I was able to do with the support of my family, friends, and many others. Again, it's been an honor to talk to you. I wish you all the best. I wish you all very best life can bring to you. Enjoy the day you have. Do not remember the events which has already passed, which is hurting you. And we are part of the population we have. Thank you very much. Namaskar.